Greetings to you, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Dakota Pallon, and welcome to another session of the Pages of the Purple Passion, where we deal with the story of Toy Boy. Now, last we got together, Toy Boy had gotten captured by a train, and Goo Man and had been brought to Princess, just like Princess had wanted. So let's see what happens on the continuation. Blue Feather and Toy Boy did. This landed the two of them right in front of Princess, just like she wanted. Well, if it ain't Blue Witch and Toy Box, Princess said as she circled the two, who were seated in the center of her grand living room floor in white straight back chairs. Though Princess was hurling insults, neither Toy Boy or Blue Feather responded. Princess continued, "Look, Mr. Yates, I ain't really trying to carry you in a disrespectful way, but you leaving the biz, baby? Quite frankly, that's gonna crush dividends for lots of mother suckers for real. Yours is a face mother suckers know and trust, you heard me? You started this shit, you can't just walk away. What you gotta say for yourself?" Toy Boy slowly looked up, removing his glasses. Calmly and coolly he said, "I'm glad to give you the formula for Sherry's bliss. All I ask is for you to let me and my future wife roll out with no questions asked." "That's a nice gesture," Princess said, pointing a finger. "But I can let you and your witch here do what I can't let you and your witch here do what's against the code, mother sucker." With that, Princess pulled her gat from her dip and fired a shot. Blue Feather and Toy Boy reared back in their chairs and fell to the floor with a crash, with the bullet not striking either of them. Once again, Blue Feather's stiletto flew, striking Goo Man in the throat. He was comatose. Princess fired another shot. But this time, though the bullet grazed her arm, Blue Feather managed to push Train in front of her, and the bullet caught him on the right side of his chest. He was down. Seeing Train go down devastated Princess. It was her baby brother. Toy Boy grabbed the gat from the princess, planted 2 bullets in her, one center mass and the other to the head, and he and Blue Feather, with the gat facing FB and FB understanding he was outwitted and outgunned, left Princess's spot and sped away in one of the vehicles in the driveway. Scenario number 3. News travels fast, and with the princess dead and her baby brother, the underworld in Jimmy Tarn City was in an uproar. Blue Feather and Toy Boy needed to leave town and fast. While he doctored Blue Feather's wound, Toy Boy said, "I got one mother sucking friend in this goddamn city, and he owes me a favor." The friend Toy Boy spoke of was his man Wretched, aka Fred Trenton. He was like an educated thug. You could call him a thug ass nerd. Nonetheless, Toy Boy dialed him because he needed his help, and bad. Hearing Toy Boy and Blue Feather's cries for help, Wretched, aka Fred Trenton, gave Toy Boy his address in a code. Wretched, aka Fred Trenton, gave Toy Boy his address in a code where numbers meant letters and letters or certain words meant numbers. So, for instance, Wretched gave Toy Boy the code apple pies 1 3 15 18 14 hit 1920. A hit in the code was a pause or break. Apple was actually the number 6, so the address was 664 Acorn Street. Toy Boy moved quickly, and they were there on the double. Jit was cool at first. Wretched and his lady Bridget let Blue Feather and Toy Boy chill, and chill hard for the first couple of weeks. Thing of it was, Toy Boy and Blue didn't know they were wanted dead or alive, and a $500,000 bounty was on their heads. Wretched and Bridget were playing the role until the feds showed up. However, Blue Feather was tipped off in a dream by a Yamasee ancestor, her 4th great grandmother, Chiefess Graystar, and Toy Boy and herself left Wretched and Bridget without a trace. So much for friends. Scenario number 4. Jit was looking kind of grim for Big Boy Yates and Blue now. Luckily, their money was still plentiful, and they were getting closer to the res where they could chill with Blue's father, Mr. Wisewolf, once again, and possibly without ever having to return to Jimmy Tarn City. "We'll lay low here for a couple of days, sweetie, and we'll ride up to the res in the morning," Toy Boy said to Blue as they fell asleep in a ragtag hotel about 30 miles north of where they had been staying with Bridget and Wretched. When they awoke in the morning, it was to guns in their faces and a swarm of officers in their motel room. "Get the pluck on the floor and don't make any plucking sudden moves," said Lieutenant Chambers, the big, hefty officer who had led the bust on Blue and Toy Boy. As they took the two into custody, Toy Boy's heart sank, and so did Blue Feather's. What would they do now? Before they knew it, Toy Boy and Blue Feather were in cells miles apart from each other. Thoughts flooded each of their heads. Toy Boy wondered what would become of his girl, and she, Blue Feather, wondered what would happen to her man. The sum total of Jit was grim as a mother sucker. But friends, and there is a but in this situation, lucky for Blue Feather and Toy Boy, despite that he was kind of plucking up people's cash flow, personally, most mother suckers in the streets actually like the two of them. Blue Feather and Toy Boy, that is. So not only were the two of them kept safe while they were locked down, but plans for their escape from behind bars was being planned by people they didn't even know. So, You the ninja they call Toy Boy, said Lady Booty, the baddest she-male at Mountie State Penitentiary. Toy Boy looked up in disgust. He didn't care what nobody said. He didn't like no faggots. Man, and no dykes neither. He wasn't the religious type, so there was no telling where all of Toy Boy's homophobia came from, but indeed, he was homophobic. Anyway, from the looks of it, all his little homophobic nonsense was about to be brought to naught as Lady Booty straight dropped gems on his stupid ass. Look, she said, I'm plucking the warden in this witch. So pretty much I run this mother sucker. He'll do anything I ask his old white senile ass to do. You good people, and I know about your girlfriend being on lockdown too. I'ma bust a move for you. But I'ma need you to do me a favor first, Mr. Yates. What's that? Said Toy Boy. I'ma need you to get rid of that ridiculous ass homophobic ass attitude you got, or you'll be sitting your little pitiful pretty face, pretty little four-eyed ass in this witch for the rest of your life. You follow me, ninja? Toy Boy nodded. He understood. Lady Booty wasn't having it. Ninja, speak the pluck up when I'm talking to you, and my name is Lady Booty. Do you understand what the pluck I said? Yes, Lady Booty, loud and clear, said Toy Boy. And as he sat having to put his foot in his mouth, it sure felt good. At least this time it did. It took about a month for it all to go down. That is, the illegal but never to be found out release of Toy Boy and Blue Feather. The two of them marveled at Lady Booty and the power of her hand, and they were happy as hell to be free. Scenario number 5. Just as there were plenty of people who were happy about the release of Toy Boy and Blue Feather back to the streets, there was a plethora of ninjas and witches who would have loved to see Toy Boy and his hoe die in prison, especially since the ninja was trying to leave the business anyways. Thing of it was, being locked up for the little bit of time that he was made Toy Boy's decision to get out of the game more affirmative. Still, a ninja and his woman had to eat, you heard? So for now, Sherry's Bliss and Kill Switch was still selling. Though he was destined to quit his jit, Toy Boy felt good rocking the dough and being free once again. However, newbies on the scene with their product were trying to make a name for themselves and get that guap just like Toy Boy was. So, Pretty Paul and the Fat Band Posse weren't feeling Toy Boy's competition. Unknown to Toy Boy, Pretty Paul had already sent his henchmen out to spy on Toy Boy. Come back and give a report. Yo, Spiffy, said Pretty Paul, lighting up a stogie. What's the mother-sucking 411 on this ninja Toy Boy and his broad? He get mad paper, Pretty. Matter of fact, it looked like he might be getting more paper than you, Pretty. At the end of Spiffy's statement, Pretty Paul rose from his plush baby blue armchair, walked over and smacked the jit out of Spiffy. I ain't asked you that, didn't you? And don't be volunteering no information that hurts my ears. And that, what you just said, hurt my ears. And my goddamn feelings, Pretty Paul stated, kicking Spiffy in the stomach. As Spiffy dropped to his knees on the finely carpeted floor, Pretty Paul didn't give a pluck and laid out instructions to dead Toy Boy and his Indian hoe, Blue Feather. Seeing as Spiffy or any of the other members of the Fat Band Posse didn't want to feel Pretty Paul's wrath, they got right on the mission of putting Toy Boy and Blue Feather in the grave. It was a Saturday night when the whole jit went down. Because Saturday nights were kind of slow, Toy Boy closed up shop early and took Blue Feather to dinner. This was what Toy Boy loved about making bread. He could spoil the jit out of Blue Feather. and see her lovely smile. Also, it got him the good gushy and the bombing ass head. That in and of itself made Toy Boy have second thoughts at times about leaving the game. However, having a good life for he and Blue Feather and even marrying her, yeah, you heard it right, putting a ring on it and also having some little toy boys and blue feathers running around was heavier on Toy Boy's mind and heart. Anyway, as was previously mentioned, Spiffy and some other dudes and witches were keeping watch on Toy Boy and Blue Feather and had followed them to the dinner spot. Right as the waitress put Blue Feather's plate on the table, a hail of bullets shattered the glass of the quaint and otherwise quiet establishment. As he looked on in shock at the waitress lying in a crimson pool, Toy Boy fumbled his lapel on his jacket as he nervously went for his gat. Though glass was in her hair and her face was cut up, Blue Feather didn't get hit with any of the bullets that had shook and riddled the restaurant. As quickly as the bullets had come was as quickly as the silence of disarray and dismay fell over the restaurant. Women screamed and wept, while men bellowed in pain and sorrow. And as Blue Feather and Toy Boy escaped fatality yet again, Blue Feather was heated and red and hot as hell within. Tune in next time as we deal with the pages of the Blue Passion, the pages of the Purple Passion, in this story of Toy Boy.